immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
10 seconds!
Okay.
Zero! Whoa! Hello? Hi. I gotta do some of this over here and scurry back and forth to and from the webcam feed over to the TV to the computer, back and forth, depending on how the setup of things goes. So far as I know, though, everything seems to be working fine and looking okay, or at least looking good enough. Okay, the PS3. I played MGS3. Is my voice okay? Sounds nice. Valate25 says sounds nice, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Oops, I just accidentally clicked an advertisement. So, I've got a 11-year-old tablet that cannot play the video. It's playing a, it's playing a glitchy mess of green pixels. I have a, 8-year-old smartphone that I'm using as a backup. And my PlayStation 3 controller has also gone to controller heaven. That thing is not working at all. I was thinking of playing Metal Gear Solid 3 with it a year ago, and back then I took it apart and tried to clean it out and fix it, and that didn't fix it. It's got an issue where the X button keeps sticking, the triggers keep sticking, so we're using a PlayStation 4 controller instead with the big dumb light bar on the back, because that plays with this game just fine on a PlayStation 3. Ironically enough, though, a PlayStation 4 controller cannot be used to play Metal Gear Solid 3, because Metal Gear Solid 3 has a fancier control scheme than Metal Gear Solid 4, which we're going to really begin by watching the Mission Briefing movie. Now, I recall that if you do not... Oh, what is this? I didn't know there was a level select. I thought that... Wait, okay, so if I press back, and then yes, I get an Act 1 mission briefing. So I recall that if you don't watch this thing, you're never gonna know something really helpful and important, which is like why Solid Snake is chasing after the bad guy in the first place. I think that the continuity cut between the weird TV commercials and then the war in the Middle East changing will be a little more cleaner if you watch the mission briefing sequence in the beginning.
Only 2 eggs today? Solidus must have taken the day off. 7, 8, 9, 2, 9.
I also recall the speakers on this TV setup being a little frisky and fishy. The pan is way too hot. Is it? One of the yolks got broken, but other than that, I don't see anything weird with the eggs. Wait, is there some kind of story significance behind one of the yolks got broken?
Now the U.S. has to think twice before intervening.
Okay, so they're talking about the long-term fallout of the Metal Gear Solid 2 storyline events.
Private military companies. That's right. PMCs have no basis in nations or ideology.
The fonts of this game are a dumpster fire.
Driven by profit.
Is it any different from the last one? It looks like
They secure weapons.
that same kind of aerial with the black logo, black outline.
And business is good.
Oh, I don't think I can zoom though.
Developed nations like the US
I'm pressing the triggers and we're not zooming.
seize power by force.
Okay, so they have chickens named after the snakes.
Terrorist groups. They're in the Americas, Asia, the South Pacific, Europe, Africa, the Middle East. The rise of the PMC has spawned a war by proxy, and it's spreading.
Resident 8 when we have X. Calibri.
Sonny, we'll eat them later, okay?
Every age has its mercenary. These PMCs are nothing new. We've been dealing with them since before the turn of the century.
No, Snake. They're nothing like the mercenaries of the past.
I also don't think we really get a super convincing explanation behind how they're not like the mercenaries of the past.
Pentagon's new battlefield control system has produced a decisive difference between hired guns
Rise of the Exposition.
today. The system was developed by Arms Tech Security.
Arms Tech? You mean AT Corp?
Yeah. In recent years,
Colonel Campbell looks so weird
weapons development
in 3D.
tools. And since the establishment of AT Security,
I thought he would be chubbier.
the system makes it possible to integrate not only micro-level information on individual soldiers and units, but also macro-level information about field conditions and order of battle.
So they finally achieved total real-time battlefield control.
They made a strategy game.
Global presence of PMCs has grown explosively. Truth is, the rise of system-controlled PMCs has led to
The game dialogue is mostly leaking into the mic and attenuating the game playback. Okay,
Cleaner, safer battlefield.
let's see if muting the desktop mic in the other room will help. Ah.
Snake! You were smoking again, weren't you? This is a non-smoking flight.
We are gonna double noise suppression. However, I just now remembered that PlayStation 4 controllers,
PMC.
there it is, they have a headphone jack. PlayStation 3 controllers do not.
It wasn't long
Is it still going to be feeding the audio to the capture box, though, if I do that? Let's see if anyone else in chat complains about it.
as a result. Regular armies began to decline. worldwide.
Right, doesn't he have more cheek, more jowl in the codec conversation art for Metal Gear Solid 1 we all know and love so well?
To overtake conventional armies in terms of scale. Nowadays, it's the PMCs who serve as standard battalions. They already make up 60% of all combatant forces in zones of conflict.
60%.
The fact is, the world now depends largely on PMCs for waging its wars.
I thought it was the UN that authorized the PMCs in the first place.
The US abstained from voting on that resolution. In effect, Washington...
So how about now, for this Shinkawa theater right now, is it that bad?
Until they got wind of the uprising, that is.
The US has exported too much military power. And now, she's paying the price.
That's exactly it. America has now turned war into a form of economic activity. Analysts are calling it the war economy, in that it's picking up the slack for the downward-sloping oil market. But I, for one, don't intend to simply stand by and watch it happen. For the PMCs, market expansion entails fanning the flames of war. It means more refugees.
War orphans. Child soldiers.
Yes. Even as PMC soldiers get more specialized, they're also getting younger.
Mercenaries spun off from state armies. Unmanned weapons. Child soldiers. Proxy battles in a new Cold War.
There are hundreds of PMCs in business worldwide, and their numbers are growing. Currently, 5 of them are big enough to be labeled global powers. 2 in the US, and 1 each in France and Russia. Reconnaissance is
Okay, so
PMCs are run by a dummy corporation that acts
so they're talking about
this mother
meaningless proxy wars being the primary product that, or the primary economic activity that's sustaining the world economy in a future where the oil
command of this immense army.
market is sloping downhill, so arbitrary war serves a similar role.
His will.
But I think there's kind of sort of a contradiction going on with how fighting
Fan the flames of war even higher.
big, expensive, pointless proxy wars on the other side of the planet nowadays requires massive amounts of oil to do, right?
Must be
Unless we've also worked out some kind of green energy solution in this game. Wait a second, so is this game going to vilify... Oh wait, I get to roam around. Select button, show help.
insurrection. It means
Okay, so triangle changes from a room cam to a cinematic director's camera. L2 full screens it, partial screens it. We get picture in picture with Sunny.
sorry. I know. This isn't justice. It's a covert assignment. A hired hit. A wet work
And Square
major multinational
has us move around. Let's see if we can find out who's holding the camera in the cutscene.
because of the military might of the PMCs and the effect they have on the economy. War is to the 21st century what oil was to the 20th, the pillar that supports the global economy. You'll recall a rather alarming reporting by that American think tank during the Cold War. One that described a new model for perpetual war. What we're facing now is a whole new ballgame.
Iron Mountain's
The
Delta.
camera's up there in the lights.
That was fiction. It existed only on paper. The reality is far more serious.
So in the cutscenes, we're seeing it from a light bulb's perspective view of the conversation.
The UN, too.
Sounds pretty self-serving to me.
Yeah, it's like all the camera angles are suspended a feet or two from the ceiling.
Washington.
They're not going below a certain elevation level.
And it's not something the UN can officially sanction either. But we can't just look the other way while Liquid plots this insurrection.
For a second, with the way the light levels were set up, it looked like he got up on the table and
Is ever
started walking up the table. Okay, bump into Campbell. Can I? Do they, like, react to this? Oh, they do not react. Wait, can we photobomb the cutscene?
Fine.
If the camera never looks at the ground, then that means that they meticulously chose all the angles to make sure that the player can't drive their little stupid robot into the frame. No, come on, where's the camera?
comes via reports from U.S. Special Forces.
I want to photobomb the cut. Yeah! Where am I?
They're tracking
I was right in front of Otacon. Am I invisible in the cutscene? No, come on, I don't want to be invisible in the cutscene.
There's a rebel army in the East, made up of ethnic minorities.
What a sentence to say, Otacon.
the core of that regime's army.
Oh my god, I am invisible. I'm super duper invisible. That's so... Oh, come on, Kojima. You could have done it. It totally... How... They thought up of all this. They implemented all this. And you can't even... You can't even photobomb the cutscene camera. That's a disappointment. We're fishing for a redemption arc here, remember?
A quagmire of war. All too typical victims of the new world economy. Snake, you'll be sneaking into the conflict zone via transport truck, disguised as one of the rebel armies hired.
Oh yeah, and here they're explaining what is happening in the first cutscene.
Is to make contact with our informant. 01. We'll be expecting you.
Rat patrol, huh? Sounds sneaky.
The Army's PMC investigation unit, CID.
CID. Real rats of the Army.
No. I can vouch for them personally.
Friends of yours.
I don't
Say
think any other buttons do anything. I've tried everything.
that.
Well, bumping into Campbell wasn't as interesting as I was hoping for. The same thing happens if you bump into anyone else. And you can't photobomb the cutscene camera. You are an invisible moving camera robot here. Is there anything else fun to do that I missed? What else is fun?
If word of this ever leaked out, it would spark a global firestorm. Snake.
So, you don't see this briefing if you begin the game. You see a little chunk of conversation immediately before, I believe, where they scoop Snake up from the graveyard, and mention a little bit about the war economy existing. They don't mention details on it or how he gets there. I don't even think that in this conversation they mention what Liquid is doing and why it's bad. Maybe someone in the chat can
I'll start my own fire.
can fill us in. You can get the camera early, you can grab some early supplies. I might have missed that. My chance might have gone. Also, can you not zoom the camera in these cutscenes anymore? I don't want to risk pressing the wrong button and accidentally skipping them. But it's always fun to jiggle the camera around in Metal Gear cutscenes. When they let you do that. Maybe they just stopped letting you do that at this Metal Gear game. Okay, this is... I guess I'll do normal because I'm not used to Metal Gear Solid 4. But I've been thinking about that. If I do hard, I think I'll die too easy. Probably at a boss. Oh, this is the one interesting part of Metal Gear Solid 4. The fake TV shows.
These guys are crazy. What are they staring at that pile of seaweed for?
Is that Otacon?
This guy doesn't joke around about his food.
Oh, that's changing video inputs.
Well, now, Larry. They can change.
I just changed from Hideo 1 to Hideo 2.
I hopes for that RV, I'll bet, Larry.
Sure, I guess.
Larry's such a good man. We've been married for a while, and he wants to give me the second
Melissa,
honeymoon for
I'm
the
going to
first
have to ask you to choose your question, please.
Secret, but I have a tattoo of Kobe behind my ear.
Tattoo, splendid.
It's not terribly big.
This is an extremely uncomfortable depiction of television. And it's supposed to be a very Verhoeven RoboCop sort of experience of having what's the word for it? Diegetic in-universe media. So the war economy is driving everyone in the Metal Gear universe insane. I guess Hideo 1 is blank. Wait, no, isn't one of them going to be the video game we're gonna play? So anyways, the war economy is driving the civilians in the Metal Gear universe crazy, and now a lot of television is weirdly militarized. The cooking show is like how to butcher animals in the jungle to eat them on a mission when you don't have any food. The sleek, sexy CGI special effects commercials are for private military companies instead of cars or PlayStations or something. This is the Praying Mantis PMC Corp doing a commercial that looks like a Batman movie. Which one's the exercise program?
Combat solution.
Oh, I think we all missed them. We're all just cycling between PMC commercials now. Yeah, the programming is scheduled to eventually all end on those commercials, I think. So as you're flipping through the channels without a big solid idea of what's going on in the first place, you eventually hit some kind of crescendo of the confusion before cutting to this, which, by the way, looked like it didn't actually transition with the fake TV show changing video input. I might have been wrong about that one. The fake TV stuff is just a complete cold cut, cold open, what do you call it? There's not a lot of context for that before or after. I don't think we ever really find... Oh, we can zoom! We're zooming somehow. D-pad? It's the D-pad? The D-pad's the zoom button now. Yeah. Okay, so I don't gotta worry about X, because you definitely mash X to experience flashbacks, right? It's supposed to be sunny at the TV in the beginning. I wonder what evidence your friend had to base that one off of.
It's no ideologies or ethnicity. It's an endless series of proxy battles fought by mercenaries and machines. War and its consumption of life has become a well-oiled machine. War has changed. ID tag soldiers carry ID tagged weapons, use ID tag gear. Nanomachines inside their bodies enhance and regulate their abilities. Genetic control, information control, emotion control, battlefield control. Everything is monitored and kept under control. War has changed. The age of deterrence has become the age of control. All in the name of averting catastrophe from weapons of mass destruction. And he who controls the battlefield controls history. War has changed when the battlefield is under total control.
I'm going to adjust volume levels. Oh, that's at maximum. It's not getting any louder than that. That's fine, I can deal with it. Okay, so I gotta not die, and I don't remember much about this game. Besides, I think most of the finer points of strategy and memorization not ultimately mattering, because the overpowering tranquilizer headshots can get you through a lot of it. But there's going to be some hard boss fights, and I expect boss fights are where I'm probably going to die. There's also an annoying rail chase segment, and I bet I might die there too. Okay. L1 is aim. And R1 is like an attack button, right? Oh, there we go. I do recall cutscenes happening every 5-6 steps you can take. Itty. Itty, 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 itty.
We're being followed. Use the RPGs. Everyone, keep
George, take your time and collect all the battlefield weapons for Drebin so you can buy all the high-level gear. Okay. Sicilian 7081 sounds like they have some information on the strats so far that I need to know. Is it gonna be carrying a high risk? I don't think I've unlocked the solid eye upgrade that would highlight all the pickupables. Okay, here we go.
By selecting weapons from the menu screen.
Yeah. Wait, was that the wrong way? Did I go the wrong way? There were two ways I could have gone, and that looked like the backtracking way instead of the forward progress way.
stay on the offensive. Hit him hard.
What?
Oh, hey, Preto 1944, thank you. Okay, I can't screw this up. Can't they one-shot me?
Head north, and try not to run into any gecko along the way.
I don't know if that's possible. I'm going north according to the compass, but I totally remember a cutscene happening in this house. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we don't go. Oh boy. Okay, I don't know if those things can one-shot kill you, but assuming that they... Ah! There we go. That wasn't so bad. Yeah, there was some ambiguity over how threatened I should feel by those guys. The novelization didn't adequately describe how useless, mutually useless both Snake and the Gecko's guns are. Nor did it describe that this is technically a title drop moment. Oh, there was a box! Oh wait, I got a L1. Oh, I missed it. I think I missed the prompt. It's L1 in this game, not R1. Did Kojima steal that shot from iRobot? How come they were so interested in the box, though? So I think Solid Snake is supposed to be like half white person, half Japanese person. And I think the Japanese person is really starting to come out more in his older ages. You can see it more clearly here than in all the other games. They have a box protocol. The old rules of stealth are over. Even boxes aren't safe. Well, yeah, there's no place for Hideo. They gave the Konami name drop considerably less fanfare than the others. Are these on normal mode? I guess I'll make new saves. They're probably going to be unnecessary though. Okay. Now we get the inadequate explanation behind why Snake is infiltrating into groups of rebel soldiers in the Middle East. Oh, we're flashbacking. Wait, this is not... Snake doesn't have flashbacks of that, though. How did he get those memories? That was our flashback, not his. Also, whose grave is he at again?
Even the dead have ears.
Snake, we've got to go. You've got an old friend waiting for you.
Otacon. The test results.
Proteome analysis was positive, but the mRNA analysis turned up negative. The wrinkled skin, the hardened arteries. Your early aging symptoms look like classic Werner syndrome. But none of the tests were able to pinpoint the cause.
So,
well, judging by how rapidly the aging has progressed, I'd say
a year at best, right?
Yeah.
Kojima helicopters are infamously quiet. Everyone in the universe acknowledges how loud they are until they don't need to anymore.
Not an ordinary man to begin with. Not to mention Fox die.
Oh no, I saw it. It's Eva's flashback. She's watching from the shadows.
But we don't know where Naomi is.
Naomi.
Oh, flashback. Ugh.
Snake.
Colonel. Good to see you.
Well, I'm not a...
It's nice that Kojima likes his cutscenes to be at 60 frames per second, but it really jars you up when you see it jump through so many different extremes, in this one in particular.
The analysis and assessment staff of the PMC Oversight and Inspection Committee.
Yeah, I remember the resolution being passed a few years ago.
Snake, I came across some information in my work.
Huh?
We found him. In the Middle East.
What?
I'll explain along the way. We've got to stop him. Now. before it's too late.
Liquid's made his move. We found him.
He's preparing to unleash his insurrection.
Okay, so
Lying in wait in a Middle
Eastern war zone. Liquid's insurrection, based on what we know from the previous games, would involve something like destabilizing the military-industrial complex and/or destabilizing internet censorship algorithms. Neither of which I don't think are, like, bad? Right?
Holidays must have taken the day off.
If the player is still operating... Okay, now this is the snippet of the briefing we saw before starting the game. But if the player is operating off of Metal Gear Solid 1 logic, where they think that Liquid is like... Liquid's insurrection is like a pro-nuclear proliferation thing, then they might think it's bad. Okay, that didn't happen in the briefing we saw before the cuts, before the new game button. I was about to say cutscene or campaign, but I don't know, the terminology is confusing. Right. Right. How would someone who hasn't seen the briefing know what that was? Whose eggs were those? Who was saying that? Are they able to detect if you watch the briefing ahead of time?
Snake, do you read me?
What's the situation?
I'm just inside the city limits. This place is crawling with lizards.
Ah, AT Corps' unmanned bipedal weapons, officially designated Irving by the US military. They've spread like wildfire among the PMCs. There are more of those things now in service than tanks. They've got tough armor plating and are highly agile to boot. Your best bet is to stay out of their sights.
Unmanned. Pretty soon they'll have put living, breathing soldiers out of work.
Even so, that's an awful lot of gecko for
How horrible. That's good, right?
It must have something to do with Liquid's arrival on the scene.
You really think he's here?
You'll have to find the Army's operatives and ask them yourself. Oh, and Snake, I went ahead and used the Mark II to scout out the area before your arrival. You'll find it up ahead.
Mark II?
It's a remote mobile terminal. Sonny and I built it. The Mark II will provide you with a map of the area as well as any battle situation data. You should find it before you do anything else.
Okay, got it.
The rendezvous point is marked on your map. I'll be waiting for you there.
Okay, so now the game should feel like it's opened up a bit. About to get a long break. Oh, we're talking about David Hayter's career, not what's going to be happening in the game. But, alright, right stick changes the shoulder, the camera's on. LT and RT are the same as the old games. Are they going to drop items if I fiddle with them? In Metal Gear Solid 3, I think we had a more inventive, bold spin on a healing system. The turning sensitivity is too low. Normal view movement speed. over the shoulder, first person. I guess it's normal that I would want to increase. Yeah, there we go. That feels like it still could be even higher. Okay. Let's see how that... we could go down to 9. Can I get back in here? Is there anything in here I might have missed? I don't remember many opportunities where Metal Gear Solid 4 just kind of slows down and encourages you to experiment and play around with the controls and learn the controls. I remember constantly being egged forward. And there's also this, giant orange button prompt taking up so much of the screen. This, like, hugging against the wall for the camera to peek over stuff. In Metal Gear Solid 5, I think this happens automatically as you move your character towards corners of walls, right? Being able to get an idea for what's in a room before you go in the room happens with the solid eye, though. I need to, like, either hit a point of the game where I can upgrade the solid eye or dig it out of a menu here. Oh! I forgot the best part, though, and that is listening to the Metal Gear Solid podcast in the game. Telling you all about the release, the tension in the air at the studios before they're going to release the game in the game that you're playing. How do you do this? Music? Yeah, you click the stick. Okay.
And now, Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral Podcast.
Yeah, we're playing video games now, baby. Let's catch up on Twitch chat. Oh, wait.
Integral Podcast.
Welcome to the first ever Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral Podcast. In MGS4, as you know, playing through the game, as you're doing right now, you've got the iPod equipped, and you're listening to this show, and you can be able to download future shows in the coming months. But first, let me introduce Aki Saito, who's joining me on the program.
Hi, everyone.
Avoid unnecessary combat whenever
kind of
possible.
weird. We're in the future now. It's,
Neither side is your enemy. There's
that we're
no
recording
point
this.
whatsoever in you getting
I don't think that's true, Otacon. Isn't one of the sides definitely at least friendly? Yeah, I can do the Ground Zeroes thing. No, stop, Snake, stop.
I've never been burnt on a Blu-ray disc before.
Me neither.
So people listening to this, they come across the iPod in MGS4.
Yes.
They come across this episode, and they're wondering, now what exactly is this? What is this for?
Yeah.
Good question.
This is to, well, actually, there's a lot of meanings, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, to ease the tension when you're playing the game, right? Things like that as well.
You can play your own music. You can play this. You can ease the tension by listening to our voices,
our stupid conversation.
Yes. And you also ease the tension of Snake.
Yes.
Because his sight gauge will fill up if you're listening to music,
Exactly.
or if you're listening to this program.
Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral Podcast.
This is really cool in the game. Obviously, as players know, they're playing this on an Apple iPad.
I kind of want to shoot one of these guys in the head.
Now, Aki, you worked on this project. You worked on getting approvals from Apple. Can you talk about that process of getting the iPod into the game, which is very cool?
Yes. Well,
Because there's a good hiding spot I can dash into.
with cool ideas.
And I think I can do it from a concealed enough position to not suffer very bad consequences from doing it.
Favorite music player, and we thought, as Hideo, Mr. Kojima is a great Apple fan as well. we thought that why not we put the actual iPod
Yeah.
for Snake to use as an item, which is a cool idea. So it was really fun working with Apple because they're really nice guys actually.
And you're a super fan of Apple.
Well, yes, me too. Bill and I are the last sole survivors within the company to have the Mac PCs on our desks and work on it.
But you take it a step further. You have a competitor's laptop, it's a PC-based laptop.
Yes.
With
Arsenal Conference.
Your logo on that laptop, so people from a distance think you're on a PowerBook or something.
Yeah. Well, that's
Can we strafe in the intrusion view with D-pad?
And it's I changed pins as well.
I don't know. Hang on, there we go.
I don't know. It's just more fun when you're working.
Right.
You don't get dull, and you want to work on a computer that you love.
Well, you like to be that rebel, you know.
Yeah.
But it's funny. But it's funny because you don't have to be a rebel if you're outside of Japan, like especially like in the States. You know, you see Macintosh, you see MacBooks and all over the place. But but really, the iPod is synonymous with MP3 players, and so we've gotten the game. Did you have to go through a bunch of different checks?
Well, yeah, I did a couple of rounds of trying to get approvals, but what I did was this was really cool. They actually wanted to see how you guys are playing right now, how this will work. So what I did was I went to the studio and I made a video with the staffs of Fujima Productions. Thanks, guys. And we made a cool video, and made sure that can be played on an iPod as well.
Oh, slick.
So I sent that DVD over to Apple, and they really loved it, and they gave me approval on that. So
cool.
Screenshots, usually this happens only on screenshots and text-based explanations.
Sure.
But I thought, this is.
They want to see it in motion, right?
Yeah. So usually you kind of ask them to come into the studio and that kind of thing, but that wasn't possible. So I made a cool video, and they see this part of what the players are doing right now. So everything was recorded, sent to Apple. They loved it. It was great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So the plan for this podcast, and I can actually say podcast now because I kind of steer away from that word sometimes because it's really a radio program and not necessarily everybody's listening to it on an iPod. So why call it a podcast? But this time we know everybody's listening to this in the in-game iPod. You can't download this on our website or through iTunes. This is exclusive to MGS4. You can listen to this program, and we're gonna have future programs as well as music that will be coming out in the coming months after the release of MGS4 that you can be able to download. And we'll be talking about the making of the game. It's kind of like a director's commentary, which is it's something that's never been done for games before.
I mean,
this format.
This format is really cool. I mean, usually director's commentary or making of is done on a bonus disc or something like that. But of course, we could have that, but it's so cool as an item in the game. You actually have to collect them, right? And when you find it, you want to listen to it,
right?
And you could actually still play the game while we're
we're just chatting away and blabbering about all sorts of stuff. And we'll be providing background info on the game, about different areas of the game, like the creation of those areas, as well as strategies, so how to defeat bosses if you're so inclined. But the question is what to do about spoilers, and I'm still thinking about that.
Why are they doing the
Mr. Kojima surmised in the Japanese
title drop thing?
The Japanese version of MGS4. This is probably the listener's second time through MGS4. I don't know about you when you played MGS4, but you play it once and you know that, the second time I'm going to try this different route, or I'm going to try these different items or these different weapons.
Yeah.
I'm guessing most people are going to be listening to the iPod through the second time through, because the first time through you want to listen to the Harry Gregson Williams soundtrack, right?
Well,
no. I want to listen to the Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral podcast.
I did know what the iPod, you could use the iPod, but you have to use it as an item,
right?
And you want that solid eye as well. That you and I
the
love
rations,
so much.
yes.
Yeah, the rations. So, yes, I think second playthrough.
Oh, can't that thing kill me?
Listening right now.
So as players have probably noticed, if this is the second time through, their items and their Drebin points are going to carry over to the second playthrough. And so they can use the second playthrough to try to hunt down items that are not found in Drebin's shop, or rare items like some kind of...
Okay, someone wanted me to collect weapons to unlock high-level gear from Drebin to make deaths less likely. I wonder if killing guys right here might be a good way to farm them up easy in the early game. However, hang on, I'm gonna try to triple tap him. Okay. However, collecting the weapons might put me in front of the sight line of whatever gun is on the APC there, and it'll blast me.
June 12th, when the game launches. Now, don't forget to check back frequently to download new episodes of the MGS4 Integral podcast on the same spot you found on your iPod in the game of MGS4. And also, don't forget to check out our other show, which is on the web. You can subscribe to it through iTunes. It's our normal podcast. We do it every week. It's usually Ken, myself, and Aki or Mark, and we do that every week. We're approaching the 100th episode, and you can download that, like on your computer, and we give you an update about what's going on in the world of Kojima Productions. Not necessarily all MGS4 stuff. So.
What if I want to cross the street?
Yeah, it's a lot of secrets given away as well.
Yeah, a lot of leaks, a lot of information leaks. That's how we roll. But this is going to close the inaugural MGS4 Integral podcast, #1.
I hope everyone enjoying it, and I hope everyone finds their way to play it, because there's various ways. My recommendation is try and just sneak everything through. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, definitely play it as a sneaking game.
Yeah,
not as a straight up action game. You're gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for having me today.
Oh, thanks, Aki. Alright, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral Podcast. Be sure to download future episodes available exclusively through the Metal Gear Solid 4 game. From all of us at Kojima Productions, thanks for listening and thanks for playing. We're out of here.
Why do they want to sound so cool about being out of here?
And now, Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral Podcast.
This is mostly a tutorial area, and I bet that I am playing this in a way that most are finding painfully slow. I want to see what the deal is with this vehicle over here, and can I get the ammo that these guys would have dropped down. Okay.
Snake, it's gonna be tougher to break through. It might be best to avoid that area altogether if you can.
For some reason, I feel like I remember there being something neat in this house. But I also remember this vehicle with the gun that's turning left and right being something that actually shoots and hurts and can maybe kill you. I also don't recall anything really interesting being said in, like, all 4 episodes or however many you eventually unlock of the Metal Gear Solid 4 Integral podcast. I don't recall using that knowledge for anything useful in life later on. Oh. Oh, is this an alternate route? Noodles! Oh good, it warms the body. That's gonna be good for that. That Shadow Moses chapter. What order do I want my items in? I don't know if I want to bother with the iPad. Like, It's just gonna ruin the mood, and I'm fishing for a redemption arc here. Maybe there was nothing useful in this building after all. The analog stick sensitivities are kind of weird. Snake's speed is changing on the diagonals in a strange way I have yet to fully feel out and understand. In any case, I think I got this guy. Dun 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 dun. Oh wow. These aren't ID tagged at all. Oh. Never mind! In any case, they're really not much of a threat. They sure do look fancy, but I think the early game threats in this one are less of a threat than in the older Metal Gear games. Okay, maybe if I aim at, like, his mouth or his neck and hold the button, the burst will climb up to a cleaner headshot. No, he's moving too much. I just need to stop shooting, guys. It's supposed to be a sneaking game. I can get away with not shooting a couple guys. I want to knife him. I want to knife ya. Is there a whole screen of info on guns with their recoil and stuff in this game? I think so. Oh yeah, the graph in the upper right. I think this represents how accurate they are, accurate they may be after the first shot or something like that. Oh, it's a drop-off of power decreasing over range. That stuff's never going to be used. I don't know, if I keep playing the game like this, though, or I'm shooting everyone and knifing everyone, it might be. You know what? We have permadeath on. We can't take any chances. So, where's the... Wait, can petrobombs destroy the APC? That can't be right. That thing looks way too fancy. Oh my gosh, can you action roll on the sides? Yeah, hell yeah! What is this guy doing? Come on. Hey, buddy. Your head was not on a swivel, soldier. What are those guys doing? I didn't even know they were there. They should be on, like, full alert right now. Their sightlines are worse than Metal Gear Solid 3. These are like Metal Gear Solid 1 sightlines on guards where you have the horizontal visibility of the manual camera. Someone's dragging Bob away, I guess. So wasn't there some way to get the PMCs on your side somehow? I guess by shooting rebels, but I don't see a reason to shoot rebels. The story has the PMCs casted as my more inconvenient obstacle of the two, and the rebels as kind of an unlikely ally. What's the incentive? I guess I'll knife him. Oh god, they're so oblivious. Okay, where's the interrogate button? Do interrogations not exist in this game? Do tutorial debuff. Only militias you can befriend. PMCs are on liquid side, they're perma enemies. Ah. I thought in some promotional copy, some promotional trailer or something, they said that you can pick sides in the war, that neither of them are on your side by default, but maybe it just turned out to be wrong in the final game. Hey, who saw me? I think that... Was that a guy? That wasn't a guy. That little pot on the shelf I thought was a helmet. I have not taken a hit, have I? Was that an oud? The stereotypical Middle Eastern flute instrument that we might have just heard.
This is HQ. All clear. Understood. The state of alert has been lifted. Resume positions.
Well, that wasn't much of a state of alert. Those two guys hate Bob so much. They did not leave their post for nothing. Huh. Okay, now do I want to take left or right? Oh, I want to take right. I remember what happens if we take right. It's so weird how this already feels more linear than Metal Gear Solid 3. Dun 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 dun. Yoink. Yoink. Okay, now before I go in the next area, I want the... Hey, where did you come from? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That was a lot of damage. Oh, wait. Let me get the rations equipped. Okay. Oh. We're not healing slowly over time, I don't think. Would now be a better time for the noodles or the ration? You can hit triangle to wake up from getting attacked. Is much slower in 3. Oh my gosh, look at that go! Yeah, holy cow, we're healing! Okay. We got a little bit surprised there, but I don't think we're gonna lose and die in the baby game. During the next big cutscene, though, I will be taking a quick bathroom break. Also, I think if the fact that my microphone has not given me any big, horrible technical issues so far probably means that my computer, the other computer, might be more of a failure point than the microphone itself.
Understood. The state of alert has been lifted.
Okay, we're back. We have like 90% health and 100% mood meter. Our moodometer is nice. Okay. Now... if I remember this correctly...
Press the crawl button while running to execute a roll. Rolling can help you dodge enemy attacks and get past small gaps and obstacles.
And I'm guessing there's just no interrogate. L1 does some camera resetting. X goes crouching, standing. I think I choked him to death. Hard is the way to go in 4. The other modes might just be too easy. Aren't there guys coming? What is the tactical utility of the statue camo? I can't control the camera in this pose. When you first enter into the area, there's a couple guards who walk in and out of here. No, they walk out of here. I remember seeing a gameplay demo during some E3 some year, which was always smoke and mirrors anyway, where they like tried to show off this feature, like there was some dynamism to it, like you could actually use it to sneak past guards, but there aren't any guards to sneak past. The sound meter's showing something to the left, so I'm kind of curious to see what it is, just to have something to play around with for that statue feature there. Okay, the guards went to the left, so maybe I should be slowly investigating whatever's to the left of that statue's sightlines. Oh, there's a guard. Right, okay, so let's see what happens if I give one of these guys the Luigi and then dash to the statue as my hiding spot. Okay, when this guy turns around and has his back turned, I'll shoot him in the back of the head from a concealed position and then hide in the statue during the alert phase, and let's see if that works out. No alert phase at all. Nice. That took 3 shots, though. It takes 3 headshots. Okay, now the guy on the right of these two is the one more prone to fire.
What the?
Nice, no alert.
What the?
Just in case one of them decided to get up and search the place, I had a good hiding spot in mind, but I guess I didn't need it. God, how many... I was wondering when I would finally hit my limit, but I still haven't even hit the limit. Snake can hold a hell of a lot of ammo on him. Okay, that area I'm not going to be able to headshot my way through. I might just be able to belly crawl through. Should I hug the right? Nah, let's just stick to plan A. This seems easy. This seems incredibly ridiculously easy. Almost to the point where it almost seems kind of uninteresting to play. But there's permadeath on to make things more interesting, so we'll stick to plan A. We're gonna hug the right-hand wall of this really kind of corridor tunnel they've set us up to sneak through. I believe there are less soldiers that way, and I've already killed one of them relatively consequence-free early in the game. No silenced headshot with the tranquilizer was even required. I forgot how much of a hallway this level of. It's such a hallway. I'm almost like, how is this more of a hallway than Metal Gear Solid 3? Metal Gear Solid 3 were like outdoor jungle areas, or hallways disguised as outdoor jungle areas, but they didn't feel as narrow as this one's feeling, and I feel like we even have more wide open space being rendered by the game engine in this one. Alright, my objective is right in front of me according to this thing. Yeah, it feels like I haven't explored. I've played this game maybe 3 times. This might be the third and a half, maybe 4th run. And every time, I'm still curious to know what's in the rest of the map, but do I have any reason to go there? Will it just remain a mystery?
What?
Uh-oh.
Is anybody there? What's going on?
Hehehehe. Alert phase is done.
There's something wrong. Support unit, confirm their status.
Wait, should I actually just... Do you stand by your MGS4 video? I guess.
Understood. The state of alert has been lifted. Resume positions.
I don't really know if I said anything particularly controversial or bold. The one thing that I think is the most redeeming about Metal Gear Solid 4 is probably some thoughts related to how scary of a prediction the war economy dystopia stuff is. But I mean, maybe I need to be playing it on hard mode to feel better about the gameplay, because the level design is weak, the enemies are piss easy. That was boring. Like, everything I just played was really boring compared to how... The same situation from an overhead perspective where you'd have to struggle a bit or think a bit about how the image on the screen is not going to perfectly line up with what you want your character to do within a 3-frame buffer zone of time delay requirement to think about the next thing you want to be executing ahead of time. It's not happening. I'm pointing and clicking on bad guys. Oh, flashbacks! So, sneaking through that area without a Soliton radar did not seem very, very tough because the enemy's sightlines were so weak. In Metal Gear Solid 3, on normal mode, they can spot you from far away, and you get into some pretty desperate alert phases with some of the shit I was pulling here. It was not happening. The alert phase that I ultimately got into was completely unnecessary. That happened because I was screwing around. It also never felt like a threat. It never felt dangerous. The music wasn't ramping up to some ridiculously theatrical extreme that makes you feel like you have to get out of there at all costs. The music just kind of goes, and the amount of hiding places you can scurry off to seem to be about as voluminous as they would be in the older games, but they are kind of harder to find because of the way the camera works.
Snake, I know this is a sneaking mission.
There were some corners of buildings that you can camo into to hide away from, like in Metal Gear Solid 3. You can't as easily find a place to crawl underneath as you could in Metal Gear Solid 1 or box up, but they were there. But the guards were just never incentivizing me into using him. Oh, this is when we get the solid eye, isn't it?
It predates the implementation.
Maybe this 20-minute long cutscene will cheer you up.
It's getting tough these days finding decent guns that aren't controlled.
I had forgotten that the critical close-up of MGS4 featured prominent snake butt on the thumbnail.
You coming?
Of course.
This was the first MGS with a crouch walk. Guess Konami was still figuring out the line of sight balance. What surprised me with the crouch walk mod in Metal Gear Solid 3 is that it's almost seamlessly implemented. It looks fine. The camo index it gives you is somewhere between the D-pad normal walk and the analog stick half-tilt walk. And it doesn't functionally change anything. In this game, it was regarded as, you know what, maybe that's the thing I'll take back. Okay, we got a Silence 45, a tranquilizer, the solid eye is useful. The robot drone, I think, will also be useful.
But I've sent you data on an alternate route. Follow the mark on your radar.
Is this the same area in the previous map before the cutscene loaded in? Yes, it is. Okay, is there anything in here buried in the menu that we need? Yes, there are. In fact, let's just redo our... 5? We only get 5? Anyways, there's 7 weapons to choose from, and we have 5 spots for them. Knife, tranquilizer, pistol, Playboy. Oh, we get 8 items to choose from. No skimping there. Okay, now what do the blobs on the solid eye represent? Normal, binos, night vision. I guess the blobs are guards, and the blobs change size depending on noise they make. There is no silencer degradation in this one. I was just trying to take the silencer off. You cannot. Oh no! I'm not gonna die in one hit from a bomb, am I? I just went out there and I maybe should not have. There's bombers, glide, hang glider bombers. Those are like some kind of sci-fi robot. Hang on a minute. Before we go out there, let me think about this. Yeah, before we go out there, let's send the drone out there.
Try taking it for a spin. See for yourself what it can do.
Oh, let's help the rebels win. Yeah, I'm basically just taking out the PMC's whole entire position with this thing. That's cool. I don't remember doing... Hey, did Snake just get spotted?
Snake, you're about to send the Mark II out of range. Watch out!
Actually, I don't think so. Snake seems to be fine. And the Mark II just teleported back into his pocket.
Snake, you're about to send the Mark... Snake, you've gone outside the Mark II's manual control area. If you need to maintain control, select the Mark II again from the item window.
Okay. So... have these guys woken up yet? No, they fucking died. We're gonna knock people out with the robot and then shoot them in the head with the pistol. And it's gonna help the rebels.
You're about to send the Mark II
Yeah, this thing even has splash damage. I hit 2 of them. It's a good thing they're not shooting at the robot.
Whoa! You can't keep abusing the Mark II like that!
That's its point, it's a drone. Is this gonna do anything? I don't think so. Okay, how can we approach the objective without getting in view of the guns on that thing? Oh, that's not how. Maybe there's a fuel tank? Some kind of giant glowing weak point? Maybe the barrels? Oh, maybe I can keep its turret distracted in the circle and make a run for it when it's at the far end of the circle. Yeah, come on, come on. Alright, now bye. See you later, fucker. I'm out of here. Guys, hold up. I'm on your side. Thank you. Okay, bye. See you later. Does it feel easy because of my Euro Extreme experience? I don't know. They give you a... Oh, and when you're down here, I think it's also easy to make the mistake that all the guards you sneak past are not on your side. They're on your side. Yeah, something about the marketing of this game, or the way that they frame the first few cutscenes. Hello, see? I'm the guy in the truck. I fought and died with several of your comrades.
You again?
Yeah. It is implied that we know each other somehow from something that happened off a cutscene. Night vision, okay. But for some reason, a lot of players might miss that. I totally remember wanting to sneak through here. It's dark, it's a tunnel. They have this guy walking slowly by himself in a dark tunnel full of cover in the room. It seems like you would want to get to sneak in, but you don't have to. On hard mode, is it like easier to get them off your side, or is it harder to not make a mistake that turns them against you? Oh, sorry. I guess if they want to fight me, I can knife them.
Oh, you again.
Guys, they need backup. Hurry up. Every second counts, right? Go. Go, 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 go. Oh yeah, there it is, the product placement. With the solid eye on, the pick-upables get highlighted. And you get mini-map.
Who's that?
Equip a ration and give it to the first guard you see. Okay. Well, unlike in Metal Gear Solid 3, you can't throw these things as an item, so I don't know if having it equipped is really going to be good enough to create some kind of meaningful interaction.
Oh, it's you.
Why do they hate me so much? Because I have some kind of sense of self-preservation? GSR, does this have a weapon ID on it? Yes, yes it does. Huh. It must be one of the PMC weapons. Oh yeah, these are PMC corpses. Well, it's just... I thought we've been through this. We have been through this.
You again. Go.
I'm just taking everyone's guns. iPod music item theme of Tara.
Who's that? Here's my arm. Thanks. Go!
Here.
Sure. Go!
Huh. So you can give them healing items. I guess it would not have been very wise for me to give them my noodles. And I guess that's also an interaction that might prove more useful when you're outside and have more pressing matters to contend with. Wait, yeah, can you like get a little squad together? A noodle squad? A ration squad? It's Drebin who's got the 10-minute cutscene coming up, right? So, can you... Can you get Tom Clancy's Noodle Squad together and assault enemy positions with the noodles given... What? Huh? How did that happen? I guess because I shook down one of the bodies for ammo, but that's like... How was I supposed to know? I can take all the supplies in the world that I'd like to if they're not nailed on the ground, but if they're inside someone's pockets, then they're off limits? Is that what happened? In any case, I don't want to fight these guys. I want to wait for the timer to go down. Kill the mice, give them dead mice! I'm sorry, this is Metal Gear Solid 4. Unlike Metal Gear Solid 3, you can't kill the animals, pick them up and do things with them, like throw them at guards. That level of interaction with the gameplay system is just not possible. It's not gonna happen. We've gone forward a console generation, but backwards in terms of the level of interactivity with the environment. At least we get a drone, though. Oh, I guess they don't like the robots sneaking around. Oh, I wanted to overhear the flavor text. Oh well. I have a good hiding spot. And this thing's invincible. A robot. I'm surprised they don't say anything fancier like enemy UAV.
You're about to send the Mark II out of range. Watch out.
I guess we can't put on the Assassin's Creed cloak because we don't have the Assassin's Creed tie-in pre-order bonus. I wonder if my cover is blown on my disguise now that I've activated a couple alert phases down here. I still am not entirely sure what even triggered the earlier one. I can understand the Mark II triggering them, but not me shaking one of these PMC bodies down. They're enemies. They're opponents' corpses. They got mad at me. Weapon! Projectile! 5. Is that a white phosphorus grenade? Is that what it's supposed to be? Oh! Oh god, there's a guy here. I gotta think of something fast. How do I make sure he's unconscious? Okay, well, no more caution phase. I guess we're good. Whoa! I'm going to assume that my disguise, or at least my neutral... Never mind, I'm not entirely sure what's going on anymore, and at this point, I'm too deep into it to go back. Don't know if I want to give him a grenade, but surely there's something I can throw behind me that'll just slow them down or block them for a few seconds. Oh, I'm out. I have 0 petro bombs, but they sure are going to take up a space in my inventory. Let's just go for... Drebin's like 2 tunnels away, I'm sure. Oh. Drebin's just like 2 tunnels... What?
Snake, the Mark II's batteries are about to run out. Just letting you know.
I didn't know it could run out of batteries. Thanks, I guess. But Otacon, I'm kind of confused about how this game works right now on a more fundamental level than that. Plus, I really got to go to the bathroom. Okay, cutscene's playing. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Woo!
Pretty sweet, huh?
Oh, okay, that was a relief, but I was just thinking on my way in and out of the bathroom, this game's a mess. Or at least some of these earlier areas on this difficulty mode are really the game design, the level design is just remarkably slopshod. It's tough to know what to do or how the systems work, how I am supposed to go through those areas. It feels like whatever I was doing was absolutely not the way it's meant to be played, and my playstyle, I don't really know how much fun it was. I found some of the pointing and clicking on heads to be kind of boring. I thought it would be more mischievous and fun to point and click on heads for once, because that's not usually how I play these games, and when you do, wild, crazy, wacky things tend to happen. They tend to make a big deal about how that's not how you're supposed to play the game, but are you supposed to play this one like this? That's not how... I don't remember Metal Gear Solid 5 feeling this confused about how trigger-happy they want you to be. Because I did not suffer for all the mistakes that I made and the fights that I got into. I did not suffer. Better look for the militia suit. It's in there somewhere. You bullied him so hard you scared him. They're probably upset because you plundered militia corpses. No, those were PMC corpses. These D batteries. It feels like systems are disparate and weakly utilized in the levels. Remember how I was shaking down a corpse and all of a sudden triggered an alert phase, and I don't know why, and no one ever really came to look for me? Yeah, what was that? What happened? What was I supposed to do? If the game developer was there watching that, how would they explain to me what happened in that situation? For all the problems that people have with Metal Gear Solid 3 and its wonky control scheme, I can't imagine Kojima, like, smirking and chuckling to himself about how, oh, he didn't know to just hold down the L1 button and tilt the stick to the right, and, I can't picture that happening for one encounter I've gone through so far. For blowing up the APCs, maybe you can call Otacon and he'll tell you about the secret glowing weak point I needed to find, because that's another part where it looked weird. It looked like they set me up to do something that I didn't really do. I got away without it regardless. I walked through an open field of gunfire in front of a vehicle with a big gun mounted on it, and Snake was fine. I don't even know if they hit him at all. I thought for a while about where to hit that thing, where its giant glowing weak point was, and to take care of it. Like, I knew the problem that messed up the situation, the solution I ultimately decided on to get through that problem, and it was to just run in front of it. And it worked, and it feels like it shouldn't have. It feels like there was something more interesting going on there. Yeah, shocking, using the Mark II to shock the PMC guards from behind, to get the militia on your side to let them let you through. Sounds like what was supposed to happen, and it didn't really pan out because of the vehicle that I couldn't figure out how to destroy or distract. You broke a statue penis. They implemented a statue penis system that also feels disparate and weakly utilized. The ultimate MGS is always... The ultimate MGS cope is there's a codec that explains it. There was an RPG-7 launcher behind the militia fighting that APC. I am almost feeling... Token did say that you have to play it on hard, right? I'm almost feeling like restarting it. This has been so easy, and we're still early, and if it turns out to be too hard for us, we can reload from here and keep coasting through the game. But ultimately, the question, the juice that I'm after, and I was feeling this with MGS3 on Permadeath on hard mode, is to be interested in it, to feel engaged.
This guy really gets around.
How's he pull it off?
Create a non-ID gun placing the
So maybe replaying some of those earlier chapters would have had me discover those things out of necessity. There is an RPG-7 launcher behind the militia fighting that APC. Okay, that's interesting though, because the militia, that would mean that to get the RPG you'd have to go into its line of sight. The militia are opposite of the side that you are. You and the militia kind of sort of like sandwich them in together. It's a pincer maneuver going on. Maybe the Mark II can gather the RPG and bring it back for you? Because there's a tactical puzzle, right? There's an APC, and it's got like a pie slice of 70 degrees that you should not be crossing over until you figure out how to solve the tactical puzzle. And RPGing it from behind sounds like the way to go. There's the petro bombs. I think there weren't fancier grenades by then. Are we back? No, we're not back. When we're back, we're not at 10:30 yet. We're gonna play for 30 more minutes, and if we don't die in the next 30 minutes, we are actually unironically gonna restart this on a harder difficulty. We have to get to the insta-kill trailing mission. Is that where the run's gonna end?
Whatever guns you don't need, I'll take and buy them off you. That'll earn you points.
This guy's supposed to look like the,
Like what? I'll launder your ID gun.
who was it? The bad guy in Demolition Man, right?
I can also sell you the guns.
Okay, so there were a couple interesting situations that I did not make my way out of in an interesting way. And that is the APC's sight lines blocking the cover. Also, what is the consequence? I guess I'll still kill some guards, but on hard mode, I guess I shouldn't be using the AK to do it with headshots. Wesley Snipes. That might have been who I was thinking of. If Token Flip Guy is around and watching it, I'm just going to want to verify the difficulty recommendation. If hard mode really is the one where this game will start to give you that tactical puzzle feeling.
You're scared of me or something? See? No sweat.
He made fun of Snake for being afraid of needles and then jabbed him in the neck. Like, of all the places. Oh, rats. My last message got flagged by Automod. I like that, rats is your choice of, exclamatory about it. I'll go, definitely see the 7th gen difficulty downgrade. I'll go check, message log bribe gun tails. Ugh.
There you see? No problem. From now on, when you pick up an ID gun that says lock, you just let me know. You name it, I can launder it. Of course, it'll cost you. The going rate depends on the war price at the time.
Okay, so the way out of the puzzle solution, you can absolutely hug the far walls on the militia side of the fight, pick up the launcher, and zog that APC so all the militia love you. That or I'm an amnesiac gamer. Absolutely hug the far walls. So there's some walls that give you cover to grab it, I guess. Oh, Eddie.
If you're willing to bend the law. Demand keeps on growing thanks to the war economy. I sell ID guns to the PMCs and state armies, and make it...
Yeah, and these cutscenes are so slow. It is like some of the worst habits from some of the worst Metal Gear Solid 2 cutscenes are getting indulged. Metal Gear Solid 2 was infamous for this shit, but with the retrospect, and with how my brain is calibrated to be such a big fanboy of those games, I can tolerate the vast majority of Metal Gear Solid 3 cutscenes. There are a few in the early mid-game when Peter Stillman's talking about his bombs, where they tend to drag. There's I think a couple with Mr. President when you're rescuing the president, and the hostages with the duct tape on their mouths that tend to drag. But outside of that, even the biggest, longest ones in the tanker chapter compared to the plant are like entertaining to watch. Some kind of interesting motion capture stunts will happen, or the dialogue will be more dense with things that are either fun or useful to hear.
I grew up here too. I got no interest in the outside world.
I don't know if that's happening here.
Alright then. If you need me, holla.
Alright, we're not gonna save and retry just yet. We still got 30 more minutes to see if some kind of interesting puzzle-like situations will happen where we gotta use our brain cells. If I see the compass in that APC level, I can give you precise directions. Stillman part is torture to replay. Only if you don't skip the cutscenes. One thing that is retroactively impressive is the visual design, at least. This game looks way ahead of its time, for sure. Just don't know how impressive that is retroactively. MGS2 also gets very cutscene heavy when you rescue Emma. I don't remember those cutscenes frustrating me for the same reasons. It has something to do with like the brevity of the writing, the redundancy, how the stuff that happens when the cutscenes that happen when you rescue Emma, I remember being a lot more plot relevant than the cutscenes when you're diffusing, talking through Stillman's bomb trauma.
Otacon, you and Drebin both mentioned something about a war price earlier.
Eddie.
What did you mean by
Eddie.
It's a kind of market price, one that fluctuates according to demand, not only for PMCs and military industry, but for the production, distribution, and energy supply networks that support them. It's been growing.
Also, I think there's a certain matter of animation going on. The cutscenes with Emma have like a new character who moves around in a very different way. There's a very beautiful segment of shots where they're climbing down the ladder. There's just more interesting things for your eyeballs to look at on top of the dialogue being more plot relevant. And I think that's one of the biggest differences with Metal Gear Solid 3's cutscenes over Metal Gear Solid 2, especially in the early game, is that some of the longest cutscenes include genuinely impressive stunt performances from the motion capture actors who are like slamming each other in the face with wooden motorcycles made out of pallets on the sound stage. It's not just talking heads talking at each other.
You can then use the points you've earned to unlock ID guns or buy new weapons.
Sounds good.
We should assume Drebin has other agents collecting guns for him besides you, Snake. You know, freelance.
Yeah, but the chopsticks in the hair. Her taking the chopsticks out of her hair represents something like 20 more man-hours of labor got put into that cutscene versus if she just said it with her mouth auto lip-synced up to the words. Okay, we got the M4, we got the Iraq war gun. Oh, let's go get some ammo.
First, you'll have to get to the other side of that collapsed building. The only way across is straight through.
The HDR in these Middle East chapters is so intense. I had no idea that there would be another tunnel down here, and when you're switching back and forth between the two, the screen is just like full of blackness. But it kind of works. It really makes this game look beyond its age. 2008, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2019, 18, 17. This is a 17-year-old game. Graphics have plateaued. It really started happening in a much more visible way a few years after this game, but you can tell going back to here to this game that when the developers had a certain amount of mastery over the lighting effects that there'd just be no going back. Or forward. There'd be no going forward after this. Okay, there's our RPG. Significantly later than needed. Oh man, I just accidentally clipped through that. Skipped through that. That was probably important. Let's save the M4 for bosses. I wanted to... Sleeping gas. Okay, that sounds useful. Dot. It's like, I'm skipping past too many messages here. And I got the hiccups.
Careful, Snake. The walls could come down any second.
I want that rocket. I'm going back upstairs for the rocket. Good thing they didn't see me in the same exact place where they had their guns trained on enemy movement mere seconds earlier. 10:07. In 20 minutes, we're flipping this to hard. We're flipping it to hard. So there's a slight issue with my controller. The analog gate is not registering a full 100% tilt when I'm at the upper lefts and upper rights. Yeah, here I'm doing a bear worm crawl, but I have the stick tilted all the way to the edge of the gate. Hopefully that won't mess me up too up. Other than that, I feel very confident bumping this difficulty up a notch. Is this a new optional area, or am I backtracking? But man, oh man, the lighting in this level sure does look good. What's the map look like? Oh, helpful. Okay, we gotta go west for a long time. Hey Tango Wolf, you don't have to look into that too much. Kojima's not really directly involved with Death Stranding and has said that as much as he'd like to, he still is too busy working on video games all the time. It sounds like getting into movie production in the most lightweight, non-committal way possible. What about the lower diagonals? I don't think it's that bad on the lower diagonals. Oh, they're not gonna shoot some poor defenseless old guy, George! Maxara Skullman. Hey Maxara Skullman. It's, the life situation's improved. It's not all the way fine yet, but it's at least improved.
Right there! No! Get back here!
Thanks, Tango Wolf. It was a big deal that I finally get that one out. Eddie, 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 Eddie. A battered, rusty old oil drum. Huh. I can equip it to hide inside. Okay, so the mercenaries... Or no, these are not the mercenaries. These are the militia. They're on my side. So we're definitely not gonna go storm the street with them. We're gonna go send the drone. Oh wait, no, I know the way Kojima wanted us to play through this segment. I remember seeing E3 demos of how you're supposed to play through this chunk of the game, and that's by using the drum can. Yeah. Look at how much more sense this makes with the long vertical cover pieces and how your camera is able to peek over to the left to tell whether or not your drum can is exposed to the enemy. It seems so disappointing, though, that they scripted all this soldier battle animation stuff happening, and you can't really see it unless you keep your camera pointed at it. But you also can't really keep Snake safe without your camera pointing forward. What am I saying? I'm just talking through the dilemmas of a decision that one has to make, but here there is an aesthetic cost to the strategic gains. I think I can throw something off the edge here. Hang on a second, listen to this noise. I believe that is the same noise that it plays when you, flashback. Who saw me? And how? How can I underhand this? When lying on back, press the R3 button. Why are these grenades not working?
It's a striker. The BMCs have sent reinforcements. Now their defensive line is a lot thicker.
Oh no!
That striker will be shooting at you too.
What?
Stay on your toes.
What?
It might be best to avoid that area altogether if you can.
You'll have to make do.
Alright, let me time my gunfire up with theirs so no one hears me doing it. So shouldn't the mortar be able to get it though? Don't think this was working as intended earlier. Is it hitting the wall? Not this time. I think it was last time, but this time it looks like it's actually hitting the vehicle, just not doing any damage.
Snake, is that a drum? And what, pray tell, do you plan to do with it? It's bigger than you are.
That's the point, Otacon. It has to be at least this size. How else am I going to fit?
Fit? Oh, I got it.
If the enemy's after me, I can hide inside until they're gone. And, unlike a cardboard box, in a pinch I can roll into a quick getaway.
Say, that does sound pretty good. To hide inside a drum, simply equip it as an item. To roll, press the crawl button to lie down on your side. Nice find, Snake. No wonder they call you a professional procurer on site.
Who calls him that?
It's you.
I guess that counts as destroyed. But the streets are blocked. Lower left diagonal isn't hitting a full 100%. Yeah, it's good enough. Oh, I just crouch. Easy peasy. Let's not go that way. Maybe we can go this way? Wait, those guys didn't get alerted until I fired a few rounds of shots, so... Are they actually neutral? Should I not have been considering them bad guys this whole time? My camo was blue. I noticed that. I didn't interpret what it meant in time. Did that have something to do with how long of a time it took them to spot me? What the... Sometimes I feel like I'm getting spotted from completely out of nowhere. Oops. 6 minutes and then we'll restart on hard. What's the X mean? Can I just make a run for it? They spawn from that small alley. Oh no, all of the, look at that, 7 rations, 1 noodle. I just tested that the noodle restores a full health bar. I'm not considering this a close call. I'm just testing whether or not I can just run to the objective or not. Oh my goodness. Does it take 1 or 2 grenades? Let's find out. Am I going the wrong way? Yes, I am. I don't know if it takes 1 or 2 grenades to... We're doing it. We're just making a run for the objective. Ah! Ah! Okay! I don't even feel... This is not how you're supposed to play the game. It can't be. It can't possibly be. There's got to be a way cooler way to play through 3 of these segments so far that I've been brute forcing through in a very inelegant way. Serpentine, this is fine. You're supposed to stick to the back alleys and like help the militia take out one expensive piece of military decisive tactical equipment at a time. I remember that mortar being more significant than it was. You blow up an APC, then you like blow up a staging area for the hang glider bomber robots. But if I'm gonna be tempted to just make a run for... And I know there's a big fight coming up too, so let's just... Let's just suit up. I think I gotta do a bit of sneaking on the way to the big fight, and I think there's gonna be some sleeping gas grenades I might run into. So, sending the drone ahead first is probably always a good idea. The cardboard box and oil drum probably work in here both mutually well. I have 7 rations and 1 noodles, which probably amounts to something like 6.5 health bars. Regain, is this a healing item? Quasi-medicinal. Right. But what does this mean in terms of game logic? Completely restores life, partly restores psyche. Okay. 2 health bars, 3 health bars plus the noodles. The rations, I don't know, but let's guess half a health bar. So, 3.5, 4.5, 4, 5, 6.5 health bars are in my inventory waiting for me to just make use of them. And you know what you can also do in this Metal Gear that you can't do in the others that makes things significantly easier? Is just go prone for a few minutes to heal up. In Metal Gear Solid 3, you can go prone for a few minutes to heal up, yeah, but, like, you're not going to heal anything substantial unless you're talking, like, 30 to 50 minutes. And this is less than a minute. I said that in maybe 25 seconds and topped out my health. Aha! A mine. Now, if I remember correctly... Oh, I just realized also the D-pad is completely unutilized. Yeah, we have less gameplay systems for less amount of controller even being utilized. I'm sorry. I don't understand how... I don't think I've discovered a redemption arc going on here. I don't. When I just now realized that I've been struggling to wiggle the D-pad just enough to make sure Snake's moving the way I wanted him to, and then I like muscle memoried my way to the D-pad, because in Metal Gear Solid 3 that is your solution for that problem, is you use the D-pad. Your slowest movement is always available there. Not here, not in this one. You have... Oof. You had, how many different ways of walking forward in Metal Gear Solid 3? You could D-pad forwards, you could crawl forwards. You could crawl forwards at a slow speed. You could crawl forwards at a medium speed. You could stalk forward with the D-pad, which is different from walking forward with the analog stick at half tilt, which is also different from analog stick at the full tilt. So crawl forwards, stalk forwards. 4 different ways of walking forward in a PS2 game. And in a PS3 game, that's reduced to the... I think it's still 4 here. Oh yeah, because this is now like its own thing. This weird floor humpy thing. If you could do this in Metal Gear Solid 3, that might have changed the game. But, okay, it's no replacement for picking up poisonous snakes and throwing them at guards. I mean, video games have just been on the downhill ever since that feature got removed. We're at 10:30. We're gonna save and start a new run on hard and see if that'll get me complaining less. Is it Otacon? Who else do I call? I think that's another thing going on in Metal Gear Solid 4, like a relatively useless codec, too.
The rendezvous point is... Check your radar to see which way to go, and use extreme caution.
Oh. Oh, no. This is how we're saving. This is the biggest downgrade of them all, actually. Look at that. Look at how soulless, how utterly depressed. Why even make video games anymore if that's how we're gonna save them? God, that's sad. That is so sad. I'm gonna refill my water, and then we're starting over on hard mode. I think there was a hardest mode and extreme mode. I don't know if I want to jump up to that one, but there's got to be a better way to force myself into playing this game the way they actually wanted me to play it, and have fun with it. I'm gonna be giving it just under an hour. 53 minutes. On Big Boss Hard mode. They're even, like, named extra stupid this time.
Now, you have answered 9 out of 10 questions right, Melissa.
His,
Now, if you get it wrong, then we have
vocal editing is also interestingly surreal. It's like weirdly metallic or robotic.
I want that new RV. Larry and I have been planning this vacation forever.
Well, now, Larry, that would be your husband, of course.
Yeah.
Hi there, Larry.
Yeah,
High hopes for that RV, I'll bet, Larry.
sure, I guess.
Larry's
It's the power of the PS3. You should have had to buy saves from Trevin. 7th gen difficulty downgrade. This is probably just as Kojima intended. I remember he begrudgingly made 4 to respond to fans.
Which PMC had a humble beginning in France.
Oh.
Manufactures 51.5 million firearms per year, and employs an armed force the size of Mexico and Canada's total populations combined.
So the game show trivia questions are about the PMC companies, which, like, are bragging such numbers. I mean, is the dystopia one where the PMCs are the de facto sovereign political powers? And civilian life just completely revolves around this ironically detached militarism?
a little bit harder.
Where they're constantly thinking about military matters and fighting and killing and dying, but not really about the political ideologies behind it. No one has said the word freedom yet. They have said the word death, and they're being sexy about it. Yeah, this is like what conservative culture critics of the 90s feared video games would turn the world into. That fear is being engaged in by an actual guy who's like all about video games and loves video games and is making this gamer product for gamers. But I don't quite know if it works. Melissa's life is ruined now. You get maybe a grand total of 90 seconds to watch that TV, and it's not something that's gonna make sense the first 3 times you do it. You have to play that enough times to know that you can change the channels, and then enough times to spot the themes, and then as I'm seeing here now on, like, attempt number 4, enough times to notice that all the TV programs they include some commonalities in their theming. Alright, hard mode. There's some scary robots I gotta sneak around, and it's gonna be like playing a stealth game. These scary robots, I get it now. They are a very well-disguised visual tutorial. They're basically telling you to stay out of the sight lines of the very obviously telegraphed alleyways that these streets become.
Head north and try
They are easy to spot with your camera as you round corners and peek out of cover. And on normal mode, I was kind of weirded out at how little of a threat they were. But now I get it. For normal gamers who are playing that the first time and don't have hundreds of hours of Euro Extreme experience behind them, it's really scary to have to stay out of the sightlines of the big scary tutorial robots. Ah! It's like satire made by someone who's seen satire. Okay, yeah, here we go. I think I have a way to say it. Spinta Penguin says it's like satire made by someone who's seen satire in movies, but ironically hasn't really experienced it themselves, so it's satire in and of itself. I think I want to say that it's something like Hideo Kojima really wanting to satirize something that the gamers would get offended about if he went all the way, therefore he did not go all the way. Metal Gear Solid 4 feels like a compelling science fiction dystopia that gets distracted by Metal Gear Solid sequel baggage. It feels like a clever satirization of what it would be like to work for decades on the same violent video game, war porn video game over and over again for 40 years, only to have the industry and the fans just want you to keep going forever until it's not fun anymore. But instead of getting more aggressive and obvious about it, and instead of having... Sorry, Eddie. I got excited. Instead of having fun behind the scenes by getting maybe more intense and more mean with the satire, it's like he doesn't quite have the heart. He's taking the fan death threats too seriously and not wanting to go all the way with Solid Snake and Otacon going to jail for war crimes in the end. Alright, we're skipping. The real game begins in this area, right? I might actually use the statue penis camo. Is that what it was supposed to be? I wish he had made that. Kind of. I feel like it most obviously comes out when you have your fight scene with Ocelot on the top of the boat. And it lasts like 15 minutes, and they play the low remix of the low-bit, lo-fi chiptune music from the 80s as these two old men in khakis just bash each other for 15 minutes, and neither of them ever die. Neither of them ever really get hurt that bad, and they just keep bashing each other and bashing each other and bashing each other, and it never stops. It's like funny how long that goes on. The beating a dead horse metaphor was visually indulged in for that scene, and that's where I think the message of Metal Gear Solid 4 hit me the hardest. Screw the microwave hallway. It was the beating a dead horse to death scene that made me realize that the time of old Snake was finally upon us. Okay, let's think about tactical stealth puzzles. Let's think about tactical stealth action and actually use some brain cells to do it. Because around this corner there's going to be a tactical stealth machine, and I need to stay out of its sight lines. Ooh, I could gain something from distracting these guys off their course. Can I wall tap? Yes I can. Okay, in real life they absolutely would hear this guy tapping on corrugated metal inches away from where they're standing, but they might have moved too far. I think they have a different route. I think more guys came out of it. Bless you, Eddie.
Avoid unnecessary combat whenever possible. In this war, neither side is your enemy.
Ah!
Heading into a fight. Got it?
There's no point whatsoever in getting in a fight, you say. Okay, we're off to an interesting start. I think it was the APC, the striker, that spotted me. Oh, did they catch a sliver of me poking? Ah! Where did you come from? I don't have a lot of hiding spaces. Okay. We're gaming now. Mistakes have consequences now, it sure does seem. This is funny. This is funny. Okay. On this difficulty mode, we now... have discovered a new tactical usage for cigarettes. Let's get out of here, though. New tactical usage for cigarettes and dumpsters has now been discovered. It took a bump in difficulty to get things to a more interesting place, but they might have finally gotten there. I'm gonna run to the bathroom and pee while Snake hides in this dumpster through the caution phase. I'll be right back in 30 seconds. Okay, so something that was already more interesting is that the APC spotted me from a while with the fiasco that added up to that horrible caution alert phase there, which might as well have been the first serious encounter in the whole game. The sight range on that APC seems to be covering such a bigger distance now that the pie-slicing tactical puzzle I had visualized in my head when dealing with that section in the last run actually is now valid. I can't just, cheese my way out of that encounter by hugging the walls. I don't know what I could have done differently, but I definitely didn't do that correctly, and it sure does seem that the parameters of the puzzle have established themselves in a much more readable way. That guard also did not drop ammo. I wonder if they just do not drop as much ammo now this time. And I also am now going to be feeling more tempted to call Otacon and ask him about the vehicle's weaknesses. And I'm still tempted to shoot this guy in the head, but not for the fun of it, but because I feel like I legitimately need the supplies in the house that he's guarding with that APC. I just went through one of my rations and I want it back. There might be a ration or two in those houses. Hey, there's an alt. Sorry for that technical difficulty. No idea why that happened. OBS said it was no longer connecting to the stream key.
Understood. The state of alert has been lifted.
Snake's stress meter is in the shit right now, by the way. I'm wondering how to read it correctly, though, because wouldn't you want your stress meter to be at 0%? But it looks like it's good when your stress meter is visually filled up, but mathematically at its lowest percentage. Oh, you can't go under the beds. Another downgrade.
Please don't shoot!
Another downgrade.
We've got a hostile!
Uh-oh. Oh, God. Okay. We gotta get some more ration items. I think I also picked up the petro bombs at some point and didn't put them in my pockets. Oh boy, we have magazines. There's a lot more guys, and they are a lot faster about
HQ, do you read?
sending a squad after you.
Acknowledge. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution. This is HQ.
All clear.
Understood. The state of alert has been lifted. Resume positions.
Oh god, is he gonna hear me? Are his friends gonna see me? These are questions that were easier answered last time. His friends didn't spot me, but I don't feel like I'm quite as in the open as I was last time. Okay, now what about destroying these APCs? Is it possible without the RPGs?
Get up.
Oh. Oh!
What's going on? Don't scare me like that.
I already got the item that was back there, though. Wasn't it a noodles?
Snake, your first order of business is to rendezvous with the Martin. Octo-camo is a newly developed camouflage technology that's capable of almost exactly mimicking the appearance of objects. Snake, you know how that first gun you found...
I don't think these APCs are destructible.
Who's that?
What's going on?
Ooh.
Snake, it's gonna be tougher to break.
Oh, you can't go under.
Avoid that area altogether if you can.
This is HQ.
I was screwing around. And I would have liked to commit to that. I don't feel like I really gave the hard run an honest shake, almost, even though there was something a lot more interesting going on in that one. Good test run. Maybe. There's one normal one that we still have going on, but the hard mode was a lot more interesting. I just wanted to see if I could crawl underneath that thing, but I shouldn't have. I never should have taken the chance, and if I was playing with proper permadeath priorities in mind, I don't think it would have been a risk I would have taken in the first place. So then, like, I wonder if I should I'm gonna wrap up the stream here for this run, but whether or not to continue the normal mode run is a tough question, because I just don't know if I was enjoying it, to be honest. It was very... I was not being adequately stimulated. On hard mode, I think I was. And it pains me to put it down so early on hard mode. You could make the normal one more interesting if you go non-lethal no trank, but I guess that could only get you so far. I mean, if you weren't having fun, then change it. I am considering redoing MGS4 in hard mode out of sheer respect for an honest attempt at finding a redemption arc that I would like to give it. I was not feeling it on a normal mode and was a little disappointed at how I wasn't feeling Metal Gear Solid 4 magic. There are some fans who do think that Metal Gear Solid 4 is a misunderstood masterpiece, correct? I'd say next stream commit to a hard mode run, yeah. I think that is what I want to be doing here. However, until then, what in the world is this? No, the network doesn't even exist anymore. I want to say right now I am thinking of committing to a hard mode run next week. And I'll just explain it as normal was unexpectedly easy, and I don't want to have another Metal Gear Solid 3 game happen where I make it 70% of the way through the storyline and then suddenly die at a cheesy, narratively justified one-hit KO that I otherwise completely forgot about. Because there's no real skill check going on. But hard mode here there was. I was getting some... What I was looking for was happening in the hard mode, where the caution phases actually were tough to escape from. And killing people with headshots from concealed positions with non-silenced weapons actually had some interesting... consequences, and those noodles that are hidden in a locker guarded by the APC that I guess you can't destroy do provide a meaningful, important reason to go sneaking around that way. That felt like the kind of tactical puzzle it should have, and I just wish my analog sticks were working 100% correctly. But With that being said, I'm also interested in what the reasoning is behind fans who do think that Metal Gear Solid 4 is just as good as the others and a misunderstood masterpiece, because I want to know, I want to feel the magic. I'm interested in giving it a shot at a redemption arc. And we might find that out on hard mode instead of normal mode. Yeah, next week. It's a complicated game. I know, right? It's a complicated game. I think in another way of saying that would be saying that it's a somewhat messy, inconsistent game with less unified of a design vision behind its the whole summary of all of its parts. Yes, that is what it is. And I'll be seeing you all again next week on next Metal Gear Monday, when we'll give it a good honest try on hard mode and not a cynical talk your way through all the cutscenes mode run on normal mode. Wow. He pulls the gun out on himself even in the menu. I also don't know if it's ever explained painfully clearly, like so often happens in these games, whose grave he is there for. There's a few different people it could qualify in as, but none of them are the boss. And the boss is the one who has the associated grave in the big military graveyard at the end of the last game. It could be Big Boss. It could be Gray Fox. It could be, depending on the ending that you get, it could be Meryl. It's not Meryl. But yeah, it's visible in the Debrief Act. I always assumed it was the boss. It's too similar to the Graveyard from Threes. But why would Solid Snake care about that? Anyways, that's a stupid Metal Gear Solid lore question that no one should be thinking about at this age, at this time in their life. I'm also thinking about how, in order to end the stream, I actually have to get up out of the chair and scurry over to the other side of the room and flip the switch over, so I'm gonna go scurry over to the other side of the room.